welcome to my channel. Today is the New Year's Eve for 2021. We all are eagerly waiting for the new year to come because last year we all know was not that great. I have written an essay about last year. I hope it will give a different perspective. I'm going to read it out to all of you. It's written in English specifically so that I can uh, convey my thoughts to all of you, all the wonderful people on internet, on YouTube, on various platforms. Uh, I will read it out for you, and please do let me know your thoughts in into the comments. And Happy New Year to everyone in advance. So let's see. Goodbye 2020 and thank you. It's 31st December, finally. Nobody on 31st December of the last year would have thought that they will be waiting for the next year's New Year's Eve so desperately. I'm sure we all were waiting for today for almost 9 months. It's been a rough ride, and many people's lives were devastated. It's still devastated. We have not come out of this awful year and probably will never come over it. Whether you like it or not, there was nothing more we, the common, simple people, could have done. We did all we could, knowing perfectly well that it is not going to be enough. It shouldn't be a surprise for anyone that if you don't have the cure, all you can do is pray. I'm sure everyone prayed. Funnily, even the atheists prayed too. Anyways, I'm not writing this to bash and kick the year 2020 on its butt, but to say goodbye and thank it as well. Surprised that I'm thanking the year 2020? Well, I want to thank 2020 because it showed me the importance of hygiene. Simple things such as washing our hands, which we had forgotten since we grew up, using caution while coughing and sneezing in public, which we never did. I want to thank 2020 as it taught me to respect my job, which me and many like me managed to hold up to. Because millions of unfortunate people were deprived of food since they lost their jobs. It taught me to value of not being directionless, hopeless, and penniless. It also gave many others a way to find new ventures to earn money, new kind of entrepreneurship which will help others too. It allowed many to take a pause, sharpen their skills, learn something new instead of sitting idle. And that it is more important. Never stop learning. For sure, the world is more skilled than it was last year. I want to thank 2020 because it made many like me work from home and witness what it takes to take care of the house, what it takes to maintain the house in order. Although I still miss coffee breaks with my colleagues, we now understand everyone even better and have more empathy towards each other. Frequent interruptions in the meetings because of kids, construction work in the neighborhood, and random noises around the house are evidences and proof of that empathy. I know lockdowns were harsh and depressing, but without them, I would have never given time to take a closer look at my house, the walls, the colors, the kitchen, and most importantly, my daughter. I'm sure you all must have spent more time with your loved ones than usual. I hope 2020 also gave a lesson to our governments and administration systems as well. Well, let's leave this topic on this note. I cannot stress enough that 2020 demonstrated the importance of freedom freedom of moving around, importance of physical activities, and really commonplace things such as going to a store to buy something. All of a sudden, we now realize that being able to go out of the house at will is a privilege which many disturbed parts of the world never had, and they don't have even today. Nowadays, everyone must be looking at shopkeepers and those who clean the roads and garbage places daily with respect. Of course, doctors and police are they are gods. They are beyond all this comparison. I believe 2020 illustrated the importance of in person teaching in the schools. I know this because almost every student and teacher is struggling with the online teaching. Thank you 2020 to tell us the importance of relatives in our lives, importance of welcoming visitors because the next year can be another 2020 in which no one will pay you a visit. Thank you very much to tell us that we don't have to wait till Thanksgiving to visit our loved ones because any year can be the year 2020. Thanks to all those cooking experiments performed by many who never knew how to cook, we now can enjoy cooking and also realize the importance of our favorite restaurants. Thank you, 2020. Without you, I would never have known that there are trillions of kinds of cakes and cookies. God bless those souls who survived half baked cakes and they could never utter a word against it. Well, and that was even worse than 2020. But on the brighter side, nowadays everyone can cook for survival, clean the house, wash the clothes and dishes. Thank you 2020. We almost stopped consuming junk food, although forcibly. It was never good, anyways, the junk food. I feel grateful that 2020 challenged us to remain sane in hard times. Tough times don't last, and 2020 made us all tough enough to last this tough time. 2020 taught me that I cannot take anything for granted. Just because I planned something doesn't mean that it will be accomplished. Millions and billions of plans were scrapped, but 2020 showed us how to be positive, find the ways to get things done, even though the original plan is scrapped. It won't be an overstatement to say that 2020 changed the way we plan and communicate with the world. On the other side, 2020 demonstrated the definition of service, volunteering, humanity. 2020 made us think of the whole society as one big family. Millions of volunteers spent hours without food because someone else needed the food to survive or someone wanted medical attention. 2020 forced me to rethink about the privilege. And no, I'm not talking about that privilege. I'm talking about the clear difference between haves and have nots. Everyone who belonged to the haves was doing his or her best to give indirect help or donations whenever and wherever they could. I want to thank 2020 that the nature had enough oxygen to breathe finally. Rivers and oceans had less chemical and industrial waste to digest. Birds had very little noise pollutions to be afraid of. Wild animals had very little fences around them. I'm grateful to 2020, which allowed nature to be herself for once, and more importantly, heal. For once, the animal called human being was not screwing around the nature. 2020 opened the whole Pandora box of colors in the sky, which were usually marred by smoke and dust and pollution. For once, the moon did not look orange because of air pollution, and sun did not look muddy while sunset. 2020 gave us chance to look at the peaks beyond same old hills and mountains. And no, I do not agree that God did not help? Ask yourself honestly just one question: why did you survive? Don't be so rude to God. I know every one of you prayed not to die. It's time to retrospect, which I'm sure we all will do, and eventually thank the God. I know that many have suffered a lot due to pandemic, physically, emotionally, as well as financially. Their sufferings cannot be ignored. Certainly, I do not ignore them. I do not belittle them. I have all my sympathy towards those who suffered. And yet, I want to thank 2020 that we are still alive to tell the story of this time to the next generations. I hope the next year won't be another 2020, but I'm more prepared now since I have not made any plans for 2021. It's not about planning for the worst, but knowing the reality and our limits better. I have no plans other than living. It's 31st December of 2020 and we are still alive. We are still alive. Believe it or not, it's a miracle. Goodbye 2020 and thank you. I want to wish you all Happy New Year and a wonderful 2021 next year ahead. Thank you for listening. It was just a small essay that I wrote uh, for 2020. I know that last year was not as good for many people as we had hoped, but there is always a silver lining to the cloud. Okay, so thank you all for listening. Please do let me know your thoughts, your comments. I just hope that we all will be positive, looking ahead for the next year, doing our best and keeping ourselves sane in this kind of wild world. So thank you all for listening to me. Please do take good care, and I'll be making another live video after some time. So please, if you're interested, please do log into my channel. I'll be online in some time. Thank you for listening again. Have a very happy new year in advance from me and this whole channel. If you are new to this channel, this is not just me. Although I own the channel, it's really a family. So I want to wish every one of you, anyone who is listening, all those wonderful people online, a very happy new year in advance from me, this channel, and my YouTube family. Thank you all for joining. See you in some time on this channel itself, but that video will be in Marathi. It will not be in English. Okay, do let me know your thoughts in the comments. I would love to read them. Thank you very much. Take care.